My parents always threw a large party on Christmas Eve, and the highlight was always our tree. Because you see, my mom, she was a bit of a perfectionist. Now, like my mom's perfect ornaments, she expected her 3 daughters to be perfect too. And unfortunately, I happened to be the middle one. Now, I guess because I'm in the middle one, I decided that I needed to be the perfect daughter that Mom was looking for. So everything I did back then, and still do, is a bit overboard. And my friend back there is agreeing with that. Now, the Christmas of 1973, I was a junior in high school, and I was taking a sociology class. The beginning of that year, my teacher assigned each of us a social issue. He gave me poverty. He gave us 3 months to work on this project. And before the holiday break, we were going to have to give an oral presentation. Now, right after that class, I ran right down to the library, and I gathered every book I could on poverty. And I memorized all these facts, and I got that whole project done the first week. So all I did the next 3 months was drill my family and my friends with poverty facts, especially if they didn't eat all that food on their plate. And let me tell you, the last thing that my teenage friends wanted to talk about at lunchtime was poverty. So they warned me, Marianne, if you don't shut up, we're going to ban you from this table until you give that oral presentation. Well, do you think I could shut up? Of course not. So they left me back at the table after the holidays. Now that year, like every year, Mom sent Dad out alone in search for the perfect tree. I'm not sure why, because Dad's criteria for a tree didn't match Mom's. Big and green, that's all he cared about. And that year, he came back with this big green tree that was really crooked. As soon as I saw this tree, I thought, uh-oh, this is not gonna go well. And I heard my mom coming, so I quickly hid behind this big tree, but I had to stand like this. Yeah, it was that crooked. Now, when my mom walked in the tree, she took one look at this tree, and she started going, Dick, it's crooked. Dick, it's crooked. And let me tell you, my mom said, one too many crooked dicks. My dad, he completely lost it. He ripped this tree right out of the tree stand. He drug it through the kitchen, right out the front door. My sisters and I, we ran to the big picture window, and there in the middle of our yard was my dad, and he was jumping on this tree. And I ran out the front door, and I was crying and was begging my dad, please don't break the tree. There's a lot of people that can't afford trees. Now my dad stopped and he looked at me. He stood the tree up and it was like a Christmas miracle. It was now perfectly straight. Dad acted like that's what he was trying to do, but I don't think so. So he brought it back in, set it in the tree stand, and it was the oddest thing. My mom didn't say a word. She just started decorating it like nothing just happened. I'm like, seriously? Dad was just jumping on this. But we all went along with it, and when it was done, it looked really nice. We went in the kitchen, we're all in the holiday spirit, and all of a sudden, from behind us, we heard this loud crash. We turned around, and this fully decorated tree with all my mom's handmade ornaments had completely fallen over. Broke some of the ornaments, it broke a light, and I knew this tree was in trouble again. So I immediately started begging them to keep it, gave them poverty facts. And let me tell you, at this point, both my parents were more than willing to donate this damn tree. That's why what they did next really surprised me. And as a teenager, this is what family ties meant to me. Because both my parents went down to the basement and they came up with ropes. And no, they didn't tie their middle daughter to the tree and donate both of us away. But they were probably thinking of it. But what they did was my mom took one end of the rope and started tying it to tree branches. My dad took the other end and tied it to like table legs and chair legs. And they did this so the tree would now stand perfectly straight, it wouldn't fall over, but the main reason they did it was for me. Now they threw the large party Christmas Eve like they always did, and everybody thought this was the best tree we ever had. You see, they didn't even notice the ropes because my mom, she decorated them. Now that next year, Mom and Dad went out together in search for a tree. Mom picked an artificial one, which was perfect, unlike their middle daughter, whom she loved.